We're going to head into our last speaker. It's hard to believe that we're already coming at the end. And we have Dr. Ashish Atreja. And I don't know how many of you know of him, but he is awesome. I've been friends with him for a long time. When I first went to the Cleveland Clinic, I was really looking forward to serving with them. But then he had gone to New York City already. But I connected with him in New York City multiple times. He's just a fabulous person, as well as very insightful. He's going to be talking about prescribing digital therapeutics and monitoring. And so a whole new area, part of that fourth revolution that Albert spoke about so eloquently. So he's associate professor and chief innovation officer of Mount Sinai in New York City. He's founder of NODE.health. If you've ever participated in any of their conferences, they're excellent. He's a common speaker, on all things digital, and he leads an in-house digital medicine innovation lab at Mount Sinai. So he does a lot of one-of-a-kind, first-of-its-kind, entrepreneur, innovator, just an amazing person and clinician. So with that, please welcome Ashish to our conclave. Ashish.
Hi. It's a great pleasure to be here and talking about a topic that's very close to my heart, prescribing digital therapeutics and digital monitoring for all. The time is now. I'm Ashish Atreja. I'm Chief Innovation Officer in Medicine at Mount Sinai Health System. And I'm also scientific founder and board member for Rx.Health, which is spin out from Mount Sinai. Ed asked me to share my journey, especially at Sinai journey, and how we went from innovation to really wholesome transformation. We call it a fit journey from innovation to transformation. So I wanted to give a context, as we were second health system in the country with a digital health innovation lab we established in 2012. There's been a lot of learnings, and we truly believe the time has now come where digital health can become mainstream, but we require platforms to be able to prescribe digital health. Very briefly about Mount Sinai Health System, it's an 8-hospital network, integrated delivery network with 7,000 physicians, 500,000 ER visits across all boroughs of New York City. And one of the things that unite us is our mission for population health. This is a statement from our CEO: if our beds are filled, it means we have failed. This is opposed to many other hospitals in the country where fee-for-service is a major driver. We believe population health, providing care at home, is our mission, is our motto, and many times that's the best care. But the challenge we faced when we embarked on this mission many years ago is, how do we really provide care at home to the patients? And we need more tools. Electronic health records are typically for the physicians, but there's nothing for the patients in them. So we actually looked at digital health and creating this entire set of tools and taking from the startups those tools to really create an ecosystem where we can start to provide a care which is better sometimes and many times than the hospital care, but right in the homes. This is our innovation center. Our mission was apps plus analytics is equal to awesome outcomes. The apps we had built have gone to 15 countries, and a whole community now we have created based on digital medicine. And we really looked at this emergence of this new field of digital medicine. And this is an exponential technology where the scalability happens not linear, but exponential. And we have seen 350,000 mL taps, but more importantly, we are seeing virtual care like in COVID, variables, sensors, AI machine learning, augmented reality, chatbots. These are not disparate because they all come together and unify at the patient through a smartphone. And what our effort has been, while they're unifying at the patient side through a smartphone, how can we unify them from a health system side, from the care team side, by embedding them within electronic medical record? And as you know, the wearables, implantables, digestible have really grown. And then how do we not be dependent on one device, but actually make an ecosystem where new devices can be rapidly added on, and new digital therapeutics can be added on as well. So for example, this is a Trailblazer WellDoc application, which is one of the first digital therapeutics to be prescribed and approved by FDA. And the reason they got approved was predominantly because they had the evidence in a randomized controlled trial to decrease diabetes HbA1c by 1.2%, which is very much equal to what a medicine would have done. But the major challenge we as our health systems, health plan face is major fragmentation in digital health space and lack of evidence. This is actually a perfect symbol of how complex and how fragmented the digital health landscape is. And how do we go away from this point and click solutions to really make it whole and wholesome for our health system? At the same time, what we want to do is really take away this burden of proof. We really want to be sure everything that we bring on into our ecosystem is evidence-based. So we have a trust, very much like we have a trust in prescribing a medicine because it's FDA approved. How can we build a trust where it can actually be better for the patients and we can prescribe digital health apps? So we've created a new association, a new society called as NODE.health. We have 32 health systems now which are partnered, increased from 20 health systems, and also partnership with AMA, ACC, Academy Health, and HIMSS to really have startups, these new solutions, health systems, health plan, VCs, all coming together, but we surfacing up the solutions which have the right evidence. And if they don't have the evidence, we build evidence for that during this network. And our mission is to really take the innovation that you all are seeing, really combine with the rigor of evidence-based medicine, because none of us can do it alone. We have to do it as a community, as a peer network. And then we create the science of evidence-based digital medicine, a term I had coined 4 years ago, and it really can help all of us. Every year, we share the evidence that has been generated by all these health systems and startups and big tech companies. And it becomes a great peer networking and learning environment through NODE.health Digital Medicine Conference. Now, once you learn these are the innovation, and these are some of the innovative tools which actually have some evidence, how do you really reduce it to practice and bring it to your patients so no patient, no researcher, or no clinician gets left behind? A lot of our last 4-year journey at Mount Sinai has been assimilating things together and really leveraging a platform approach to be able to do that. So we embarked on this mission using a consulting firm, and then we kind of came with this concept of Digital Daisy as our roadmap for digital health adoption, where we say there's a digital experience which patients get, but also caregivers can get and care team can get. And within that, you have embedded all those technology, the technology which is synchronous video visit telemedicine. Even though that is widespread, we feel the biggest wave is actually digital monitoring and digital therapeutics. Because in video visit, we still are logged to the same physician within that 30 minutes window. But if you actually create digital twin of yours or digital therapeutics, you can prescribe care plans to thousands and millions of patients without spending time from the physician or the care team member. And I'll share examples of that, what we have done during the COVID phase. One of the key reasons we were able to accomplish so much in the last 4 years is because we spent a lot of our money building a platform from grounds up, which is now available outside Mount Sinai as well through partnership with American College of Cardiology, AGA, and Hospital Association of New York State and Rx.Health. So we were able to create a platform which embeds within EMR. In our case, it has been Epic, but now it's embedded within Cerner, Allscripts, as well as athenahealth, where you are able to take the best content, the best digital therapeutics, the best wearable devices, appointment scheduling, clinical trial enrollment, all of them. And you can actually, if you already have some of those tools, through a Firebase API, you can integrate those tools very rapidly and create your own health system customizable toolkit, right? And each health system has to have its own unique asset there. So when we did that, we were able to show a patient activation really leapfrogging from 6% to 92%. And the reason is, if I, as a physician, I'm a gastroenterologist in that regard, but if I tell a patient, hey, for inflammatory bowel disease, you use this app, the chance a person is going to download is 6%. And the reason being, they're going to forget the name, they're going to mistype the name, they will get lost with 350, 450,000 apps, or they will get challenged with signups and those kind of things. By activating them and prescribing them right from the EMR, we already know who the patient is. They are able to do a deep link and single sign on, and right, they get into the app. And that activation has been key for us to launch any digital program that we want in any shape or form, right from our EMR within a matter of weeks. So again, this shows our network that we have now expanded to, and it's a very collaborative network. We share and learn from each other. Some of the solutions that come from Yale, we adopt and outside as well, includes New York City Health and Hospitals, which is one of the largest public health hospital system, community hospitals, academic hospitals, national societies, and now we've created centers for excellence with different health systems and health plans. I'll share a few examples on how you can take this approach and really embed into different use cases. Now we have more than 250 digital care plans for 250 different use cases, all embedded within digital health library that can be unlocked. And I'll share just few top ones for you. Heart failure, as many of you know, is a very big issue among majority of health systems and health plans with a very high readmission rate. And we realize that many of those can be reduced if we track the patient's vitals and their symptoms immediately after they get discharged and get them into the right path. So we were able to connect blood pressure machine and weighing machine with our app, prescribe to patients before they get discharged. So they knew how to use it. And we were getting 75% of the patients using them, 73% of the patients using them nearly every day or every alternate day for the first 30 days. We were able to show 50% readmission rate reduction because the data from them was getting into and alerting our care team member. In addition, as you can see from the smartphone, we had a care navigation which was guiding the patients automatically what to do for blood pressure control, what to do for weight control. So not only they were checking their blood pressure, but we were guiding them what is a good blood pressure for them, which is lacking in most of the RPM devices. So I think by combining the deviceless digital monitoring with a device-based monitoring, we were able to achieve a very high engagement and a very high outcomes improvement. Now we can expand this model to COPD, many other devices and diseases where this can actually play a big role. The technology these days now with the COVID, we have really expanded now to actually add a 4G hub where patients don't even need an app to be able to transmit the data. Any of these devices are used, as soon as they are used, the data comes from the 4G hub directly to our dashboard, and our care teams, it creates an alert for them and they can act on it. And these are live dashboard, not only alert comes, but they can actually trigger a video call from here. They can trigger a chat from here to make sure the patient is not just running and then taking a blood pressure. It's actually true, and they can guide there right there. That reduction to intervention by reducing it to less than 30 minutes has been key for us in preventing many readmissions and really having a super high patient engagement. And this allows a dashboard creation toolkit in the platform with a remote patient monitoring toolkit, which are all embedded through Firebase API, and a prescription toolkit and digital health formulary. So it's all those are interconnected assets all on one platform with the data science on the back on Microsoft Azure platform in our case. So this just shows another visualization of how any of the connected devices can now flow in. And now with the codes for RPM and CCM, you can actually get paid around $100 per physician per month by leveraging RPM. The other way we've been using a lot is in our population health ACOs, where we are taking risk for those in our employee health. We are able to actually give these devices for uncontrolled population wherever the devices help. But wherever there are no devices for that, we are able to do SMS-based or app-based deviceless monitoring, and that has been really helpful for us. Being an academic center, we also wanted to see how we can further the cause and become a glue between clinical research and clinical care. The same platform we have been using, we are able to now use it to prescribe a mini app or a SMS-based enrollment for clinical trial. And this figure shows the data. We were really struggling with recruiting patient population. We recruited only 16 patients in 6 months. We turned on this SMS-based remote monitoring, reached out to 1,800 patients or 1,300 patients from our EMR at 8 a.m. in the morning. By 12 noon, we had 500 patients getting back to us. And by 5 p.m., we had 206 patients enrolled. This has never happened to us before. This shows the timeline. So now we have embedded this workflow into what we call as a decentralized trial toolkit. So many of those patients can be recruited, e-consented, then followed, engaged, and electronic patient report outcome and remote vitals being collected, all through the same toolkit we are now using for research as well. And this is courtesy of Rx.Health, the spin out we have partnership with. So really, what my single most message to you is, don't think of one use case and bring one technology. Think of multiple use cases. Think of where the puck is going, what's you gonna be needing as CIOs, as chief digital health officers, whether it is digital front door, digital therapeutics, or digital monitoring. And look at how can you enable a platform approach where multiple use cases get actually settled, or you can implement them within one go. So heart failure readmission reduction, we actually did the same thing for peri-procedural, peri-surgical scheduling, to reminders, to bowel preps, to post-surgery and procedure follow-up, showed 58% in reduction in aborted procedures. We showed half-day reduction in length of stay in bundles for knee replacement, 20% patient more going to home. Recruitment, as I mentioned, and during COVID time, we leveraged the same EHR integrated digital health platform to reach out to 1 million New Yorkers, and 55,000 people we were able to enroll within 8 weeks. So talking about COVID, we were able to quickly realize that we have a lot of our own employees which are at risk for COVID as well. And how do we quickly build a toolkit, taking the best of the bot, the telemedicine, and remote patient monitoring, and putting it together as a COVID toolkit. And then we were able to launch this toolkit for Stop COVID NYC program, where we were able to reach to 1 million New Yorkers. And it also assessed not only COVID symptoms, but also social determinants of health, as you can see from a SDOH bot. We actually partnered with Yale through Rx.Health, and we were able to enable from few hundred telehealth visits a day to 7,000 telehealth visits a day. And the reason we were able to do that is because in video visit, the major challenge is not video visit per se, but all the onboarding of the patient beforehand and following up after the visit. And if we can automate that using automation or SMS-based activation, we can actually go much more faster on that. What has been very fulfilling for me personally is we've been actually taking the same framework on COVID and actually taken to many other countries. Swasth is a new backbone initiative. It's becoming the telemedicine backbone of India. So we actually have partnered with them to bring all the COVID-specific workflows and the digital toolkit that we have created, very rapidly launched. And now one of the leading hospitals in India, Medanta, is leveraging our digital monitoring platform, which is device-less remote monitoring on the COVID symptoms and the data coming back. So again, talking about reusable assets, talking about multiple use cases all on the framework. So you are able to move many, many things in parallel rather than in serial fashion. Now we are partnering with multiple health systems and health plans internationally to create global center for excellence in digital therapeutics and digital monitoring, because our philosophy is really to achieve a highly efficient care and highly effective care. Science of medicine is there, but we really have to empower the delivery of care. And digital health, being an exponential technology, can really help us scale delivery of care like never before. But we cannot do it alone. A network of health systems which have using different use cases and building different assets, but on a common platform on a cloud, we can share each other's asset or give our license to each other's assets or do revenue share, and we can all win together. So I'll conclude by just saying the time for prescribing digital health for all has come, and not only in US, but globally. We have done around 2.5 million prescriptions in the last 1 year alone. Innovation gets the journey started. So start somewhere, but really for transformation is what you should be looking at, and trying to look at how to go away from point and click solution to bringing things together. And also bringing not only health systems, but also pharma and life sciences together, because then you can create a value that has never been realized before. I'm sharing my email with you and happy to correspond with you. And it's a great group, and very excited to be part of Digital Health Leaders Group. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Ashish. That was awesome. And a lot of great points. I love the digital DAISY model, the evidence-based digital medicine. And if there was one main key point that I took away, and we saw some of that in the chat, was really, and why we created our conclave to begin with, is really the interconnect. And you can see how we need to work really closely with pharma, and again, the payers, and biotech, and all of the health and life sciences. And so I think that point came out of your talk brilliantly. So I just wanted to say two things. One is thank you to all of our speakers, just fabulous, amazing, very thought-provoking, very provocative, great ideas. I took so many notes. It's just driving me crazy right now in my mind, all the things happening in my mind. And then thanks to you, the audience, for participating, and especially on Twitter and also in the chat, just being so engaged. And let me wrap by saying this, just as when we started 2 hours ago, this is an association of chief digital officers. You see the website, Digital Voices. You can contact any of us or on LinkedIn. If you want to be part of our loose association, that's commercial-free, vendor-free, just a free exchange of information, trying to knock down the silos that we identified today, please let one of us know, and we will include you, and we will get kicking in earnest in 2021. We already have an amazing opportunity with World Economic Forum to do something pretty special. So we want to add value to the world as well as to our organizations. So please join us and reach out. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time. Have a great day.